Hello everyone. I got a ton of DMs about this topic. I did a post on Instagram where it was just like a easy breezy kind of joke about working in a hotline, and then I was flooded with DMs with people asking me about what it's like working in a hotline. Do I have tips? Do I have recommendations, etc.? And I love that you guys sent me so many DMs, but it was too many for me to answer all at once. So I figured I would take to this. We could talk about it this way, and hopefully I answer everyone's questions to the best of my ability, given that. So that being said, I know that I had said I was coming back to YouTube a few months back. Life happened. I had a baby. I was expecting to be way better than I was, and I wasn't. So I'm not making any promises this time, but I am going to do my best to be posting regularly on here. This is the start to that. So let's get into it. So I'd like to preface this video by stating that I love my job. I love my job. I love my clients. Anything that I say that's a word of warning has nothing to do with that. I'm really proud of what I do for a living. I've worked really hard to establish trust with my clients and my clientele, and in no way do I want to sound ever like I'm ungrateful for that, or that for some reason the negatives I might talk about is implying to them, because it's definitely not. I don't know if they're gonna see this, anybody. I would assume not, but I just like to start this video by stating that so that they never think that they're the problem, because they aren't. So the main question I got asked on repeat was, how do you work? How do you get started in this work? So I would like to preface by saying I am not a medium. I don't offer mediumship services. That's a very nuanced topic for myself that I just don't want to muddy the waters on that topic, and be very clear that the work that I do through a psychic hotline is tarot reading. Yes, there are mediums who work in this job. There are opportunities that come up sometimes that fall under the mediumship category, but I always offer my services as a tarot reader. And I just want to preface that to start off with. So as a tarot reader, hotlines offer spaces for us. And I think that the main question everyone was asking is, how do I get a job like this? And quite frankly, the answer is just like any other job. You apply, make a resume, put your qualifications, put your experience on it. Treat a resume exactly like you would any other job. I have a professional resume that I give services, and hope that they respond. Now, that being said, I would like to preface some words of warning when it comes to working for services. The fact of the matter is that if you're going to go out there and you're going to apply for a hotline job, the majority of the hotline jobs that are available right now are not hiring if they are a job that supports both the client and the reader. And when I say that, I mean, ultimately, these are businesses, right? They're out there to make money. And there are a lot of hotlines that exist that do no vetting service. They also don't put a cap to how many readers can be on their service at a time. So it's oversaturated. You are competing against thousands of other people who may or may not be good readers. Who knows? There's no vetting service. And so when we are asking the question, can I get a job in this field? The answer is yes, but it's also no. The majority of the services that exist that are going to support both the client in an ethical way, as well as support their advisor, because that's what we call them, is not hiring. They're not hiring right now. There's going to be anything from a 3-month to a question mark amount wait list. I have thousands of 5-star reviews at my current main place of employment. That was easy to say. And yet I've been on one of the hotline wait lists for 3 years right now. So when we're keeping these things in mind, I just want to be really realistic with you. It's not to discourage you, and it's not to gatekeep, saying, oh, you shouldn't or you couldn't do this. I just want you to be going into this super prepared. There are a ton of hotlines that will take you immediately. They won't interview you. As long as you provide your W-2 and you show up, they'll take you, but they also will take everyone else. So I don't want you to go and get a job at one of these places and then quit your day job. I will say that they are great places to get experience in the fast-paced setting of a hotline. Hotlines are not like offering services normally. Hotlines want you to shuffle quick. They want you to answer quick, be decisive. There's no 5 minutes to shuffle, 2 minutes to interpret, because you're wasting their time. They're paying by the minute. They want you to snap it out. And from a client perspective, I can understand that to a degree. But I want you to be as prepared as possible in going into this situation, so that way you're not yelled at, ridiculed, or given really bad reviews because you just weren't fast enough. So I would recommend getting experience in those settings, so that way you can get your fast impact reading done. And it isn't to say that the reading is going to be less quality than if you have time to sit. It's about any kind of skill of learning how to do that to the best of your ability. We also have things like ethics that come into place in this field. People are going to ask you questions that you should not answer, health questions, legal questions, etc. And you have to be really confident and comfortable to say, I cannot and I will not answer that. Simultaneously, you have a lot of clients that will be very needy. And you need to be able to create that boundary with them that says, hey, I am so glad that you trust me to look into this, but I don't feel comfortable looking into this one topic for you 5 times a day. And you might lose clients because of that, because you're having that ethic and that ability to create a boundary. So overall, my biggest advice to you, if you're truly trying to get into this line of work, is put your resumes out there, expect to wait, and in the meantime, get practice in. I really recommend for people who are trying to make this their job, go do stuff in person. Go to farmers markets and have a booth. Go to craft fairs and have a booth. Look and see if there's metaphysical shops in your area that are willing to take on a reader. Get some in-person experience to put it on your resume, and also treat it like you would a hotline. You're going to be quick. You're going to be decisive, and you're going to give people the best reading you can without taking up too much of their time. But otherwise, I really recommend that if you're going to do this, get out there and do it. Don't quit your day job until you have figured out what you're comfortable with. But yeah, there's a lot of positive things I think that can come from this kind of work. I am super proud of what I do for a living, but it's all about having boundaries, being honest, and being fast. And the last little caveat that I'm going to leave you with, that I would like to warn people of if they're doing this kind of work or interested, is that there are weirdos. By that I mean you're a hotline service, so it's anonymous to a degree, which means they're going to, and when I say they're going to, this is not that often it happens, but it's often enough it's worthwhile mentioning. There are people that are going to use you as a human punching bag because they just need to yell at someone. And there's also people out there who are going to violate your boundaries and use you for some sort of sexual situation. You are not consenting to be in that sexual situation. There are services that exist for that, and they want to put you in it anyway because part of their kink is your lack of consent. And you need to be very comfortable with being clear that that's not something you're willing to participate in. So I just want to warn you guys of that all to begin with. And for those of you who are interested, I wish you so much luck in this journey, and I hope you get everything out of it that you are hoping for. I love my job. I hope you'll love your job. And in the meantime, have a great rest of your day.